Alright, welcome back to the Real Guy Garage. This will be an update on the Zed. Which of course, 78 Z28 Camaro, 354 speed that my dad has. At this point, I have gone ahead and pulled motor and trans. I've gone through both of them. I've stripped and repainted the inner fenders, the cowl, the firewall, top half of the subframe, as well as the brake booster. I've rebuilt the master cylinder, uh, did the wiper motor, hood hinges, new motor mounts, etc. So I've got all this, painted this. Which I must say I'm pretty proud of myself in all honesty, because it was the first time I had ever actually sprayed base clear. And I mean, it's not a perfect match to the exterior of the car, but also the exterior of the car was painted 25 years ago at least. But what I did, I think, looks pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it anyway. And besides, with the hood closed, you'll never see this part of it, and with the hood open, it'll blend in enough that I'm not really all that worried about it. But I painted all the inner fenders and firewall and everything, so at least now it looks proper. When you open the hood, there isn't the original brown paint across the top and everything still, because this car originally was brown. It was painted this carmine red-ish color, because this is not carmine red, I come to find out. But it was painted this color in and around the 90s, when the gentleman that my dad purchased the car from bought it. He had it painted this color because when he was younger, he had a 79 Z28 that was this color. So I had it painted this color for nostalgic reasons. So the motor mounts were completely shot. Let me find them here. They're in my scrap bin. You can see they were just deteriorated completely, cracking, pulling apart. Both of them were like that. Unfortunately, they were just dried out from their age. I honestly think that they're most likely original to this car. That's my best guess anyway. So I went through and I've got a new rubber for the shift fork. That's a new bearing. Transmission's got all new gasket seals and everything in it. What else? Oh, well, the motor. It is the way my dad wanted it. Don't pay attention to the dust and crap on it right now, but he wanted it painted red. So that's what we did. New water pump, new timing cover, new timing set, all the gaskets top to bottom. In all honesty, it's always been a good running motor, so there wasn't really anything internally that was in need of rebuild. So while it's not necessarily in my taste, it does look good, and Dad's happy with it, and really that's all I care about, is my dad being happy with it. Because it's his car. He's got to drive it. And he might as well be proud of it. So the motor itself is a 72 350, made in the St. Catharines engine plant here in Ontario. It's got pretty good compression, I'd assume, based on the fact that the slugs come pretty well almost flush to the block. Definitely aftermarket 30 over pistons, you know, the works. Still iron head. It's got the Torker style intake. I say style because it's a Scorpion intake. It's still an Edelbrock intake though. That's still a single plane. which they usually say the single plane just kills performance on a street car. But for whatever reason, I left it on the car because, frankly, the car performed really well. It just leaked oil and everything from everywhere. That was about it. I also did away with the gear-to-gear timing set and put a regular timing chain in it. But yeah, and then it's got I had the flywheel resurfaced, and I put a McLeod Street Pro clutch kit in it. So it should be a little bit better than the than the cheap OE replacement clutch that was in it. Because I think McLeod says that their clutch is good to 400 or 400 and a half horse. So, because I don't know what this motor puts out, but I think it's fair to assume that it's not the stock 185 horsepower that a 78 350 put out, just based on the increased compression ratio and the fact that it's got a pretty lumpy stick in it and the whole works. So it's better to have a clutch that's rated to handle what it has than put another stock clutch in and then wonder why it burns up prematurely. So we'll go ahead and put the tranny and the motor back as one unit, and then they'll go back in the car tomorrow. And then we only have about a dozen other little things to deal with, like the shifter. I have the adapter that goes on it to move it over to where it should be. And then I have some interior stuff I want to do. New door handles. Well, the bezels for inside. The institutions, I should say. And I want to repaint, like the A-pillar moldings and the B-pillar mold. This is the plastics. Get them all cleaned up. I'd like to go ahead and repaint the rear window trim. It should be black. We have a new package tray to go in there, which is a little better than just the painted mess that's in it now. And I'm gonna paint the headers for now. We're gonna do all new exhaust probably next year, or later in this year anyway. Let's try and eliminate a few other problems it has. I'd eventually like to do the complete front end in it, all new bushings and ball joints and tie rods, idler, pitman, the whole works. Just to firm everything up, because again, I'm fairly certain that that portion of the car is original, just based on how badly deteriorated it is after 42 years. Mostly as a reality of the fact that this car has led a fairly sheltered life. I mean, it still has original fuel lines, original brake lines on it. I don't think it's got a ton of mileage altogether, because I don't know many cars that still have original brake lines and original fuel lines front to back, let alone F-body GM products here in the Rust Belt. Anyway, so that's an update on that.